everybody, welcome back. It's been a while.
Been a bit too long, actually.
We have come back, brand new, the James Watson podcast, a new set, which is very exciting.
That's me, in case you didn't know.
Yeah, it's all about him. A new set, which is very exciting. It probably will change a little bit. You'll see some new things over the next couple of episodes as well. But welcome back. I'm excited for today. We're going to be talking about high performance. But how have you been in the last
been great.
month?
But before we move forward, just remember to click the like button and subscribe when you're watching this, okay? Or we'll find you.
Into a threat real quick.
Right. Yeah, I should learn the Liam Neeson one. I have a particular set of skills.
Who's that?
I will find you and I will kill you. You've never seen Taken?
No.
You and your African childhood. Nothing reached you, did it?
No.
You always say that. It's a great movie.
Okay.
It's not fluffy though, like you say. You always say it never reached Africa, right? Because you grew up in Zim. But surely Taken reached Zimbabwe.
I mean, it would have, but just I've not watched it.
Since a G. I'll just show you that one scene. It's class. Anyway, sorry. In case you don't get the vibe, subscribe.
Okay.
Press like, share.
I don't think we've covered this yet. Subscribe, like, follow the James Watson on everything. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn. Who are you on LinkedIn?
James Watson.
Yeah.
Who else would that be on LinkedIn?
I don't know. How have you been?
I've been great.
Great.
Been travelling, spending loads of time. Istanbul last week, Manchester this week.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Tropical Scotland now.
Yeah, very true. Got off the train and the temp dropped pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Istanbul, Manchester, Glasgow.
I think this might be the first one we've done this year, is it?
Yep.
It's been a year. Do you want to give everyone a bit of a rundown of this year, what that's looked like for you?
Honest answer. I wish I had a videographer follow me about the whole time so people could see the not so fluffy side of entrepreneurship. I was actually talking to my mate about this yesterday.
Yeah.
He's like, why don't you think, our business partner, why don't you think we've grown as much? And I'm like, we started on a bad foot, not on purpose, with some uncontrollables. And I suppose the first 8 months of this year has been exciting because we're building things, but it's like an uphill battle. It's like trying to run up a hill on a running machine where people try to hold you back.
Yeah.
But the podcast came at a perfect time because I feel like we're just at the peak, and it's called the tipping point, where the rest of the year, actually in our conversation this morning, someone's like, things seem to be really good. Why do you think that is? And I says, it's just 8 months of blood, sweat and tears that have got it to the Pubs Jambo. I'm like, it's just the byproduct of everything that's been done from January to now. Nothing's changed. We've not added anything. It's just, this is it just starting to get its feet. So across a couple of different companies, I would say that's the same building, but so if you'd watched us up until now for the first 8 months of the year, we'd have seen hard graft and anxiety and stress and all that stuff that we talk about. We're going to talk a lot about that today and limiting beliefs, and actually watched us deal with that this second half of the year. I see people enjoy the fruits of their labour.
Sign me up.
So you're going to watch people enjoy the fruits of their labour.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
I think I've done my bit.
You've been a part of that, yeah.
But it is, I mean, we talk about it all the time, and we've spoken about it in other episodes before as well. It's like that delayed kind of gratification. I think at the time you're like, we're going 100 miles an hour, we're doing everything we can. Why does it feel like it isn't changing? But a lot of the times there's a delay to that, and I feel like now we're starting to see that change.
And sometimes, I'm just going to say for entrepreneurs, and sometimes a pay cut.
Yeah.
Sometimes. So even the first half of this year, I feel like even a lot of the people I coach have made less money but are working 3 times as hard.
Yeah.
So sometimes in entrepreneurship as well, because you get paid on performance, then if something's not performing as well, you can't pay yourself as much money. And if you can't, so not only is your work increasing, but your income's decreasing. And a lot of people, even in entrepreneurship, can't handle that or wrap their head around it, because things could be good for 5 years and all of a sudden you got to pivot. You know, the sea thing that happened, we'll not talk about, the energy crisis that happened, and there's loads of uncontrollable things happening in life in every industry that make people have to kind of take a few steps back and put the boxing gloves on and fight a bit. But working 3 times as much for a third of the money, a lot of people can't cope with that, which is why I wish somebody video recorded that. I wish, and it sounds quite weird, but I wish, and I'm going to at some point have someone be there for you wake up until you go to sleep. I fell asleep the other night.
More then.
We were lying on the floor of an apartment at 11:30 the other night, sorting a contract that had to be sent to somebody in Australia the next morning.
Might I add, neither of us are legal in any way, shape or form.
But we were amending words and that, you know, that was fun. And I wish people could record that because I'd been up since 5 o'clock in the morning. We started chatting about work at 6 o'clock in the morning. We were planning stuff at 6 in the morning. And we've done a call at 7 o'clock in the morning with somebody in Australia. Went to the bloody gym and then I'm falling asleep. I literally fell asleep as I shut the laptop. You left the room. That was me gone. So I'd like to film stuff like that just to show people what you actually have to do to even have a wee slither of hope of being good at something.
No, I agree. But it's still been quite a good time. We've still managed to have some fun. You've still managed to have some great holidays.
Did I? Where did I go?
You've been to Spain. You've been to Portugal.
Yeah, we went to Tenerife in February.
You've been to Dubai a couple of times.
All work related, by the way. So you say holiday, I say work trips.
I feel like at the start of the year you were everywhere because we were in it together and you weren't.
Yeah, I travelled a lot, didn't I?
Travelled loads.
Yeah, but I have this debate with my wife a lot, actually. So when you say holidays, I'm like, have I? I've only been on one holiday.
You've been on a lot of planes then.
I've been to
seen lots of cool places.
Been to a lot of cities. I've been to different countries. I've done loads of trips. Yeah. But if I'm going to Istanbul to go to a meeting with somebody, it's not a holiday in my head. Yeah. I went to Dubai on holiday with my children, which I wanted to be a 6-week holiday, which turned into, was I away for 2 weeks? Because I found that my kids don't like me past 14 days. So they want to go home, see their mates, which was fine. And no, but it's fine.
It's not like it's cool when you're 15.
Saved a fortune.
Yeah.
Saved an absolute fortune, which is great. But yeah, so that's why when you says you've been a lot of holidays, I'm like, really? No, because to me, if I'm going somewhere to do business, that's never going to be a holiday because I'm always thinking about work. So yeah, I get to travel a lot. Be careful what you wish for. As a young 23-year-old lad, I'm like, I'd like to be an international business person one day and fly to different countries and do meetings. And now I'm like, really, I have to go on another plane. I had my own bed last night. I forget how nice my own bed is because the past couple of weeks I've been sleeping in other people's beds and Airbnbs, and I lay in my bed last night and I could have fell asleep within 10 seconds because I'm like,
just so comfy.
Forgot how peaceful your own bed is, right? So I'm like, we need to be careful. I can't complain about it because it's what I wish for.
Yeah.
But be careful what you wish for and dream about because one day it might actually come true.
Yeah, true.
So we've had a great time. I think for me, sorry, I'm going to steal the show here. For a point though.
Watson podcast is all about you.
It's all about me, isn't it? I think that's the best. I think that's the most exciting bit about being a high performer of building companies. Like the building part's the exciting part.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, when things are good and things are great, and not to sound obnoxious, when you're flying and you're making 3 times the income for doing a third of the work. So the flip side, there I was talking about doing 3 times the work for a third of the income. There's some times where you're doing a third of the work for 3 times income, but when that happens, it's fun, but it's boring at the same time. Because when things work, if you're the person in charge, there's not that much for you to do anyway. You feel like a spare wheel in your own business. Whereas when shit hits the fan or things aren't good, then you feel a lot more valuable because you're the person holding everything together, building, fixing everybody, making sure things don't fall apart, and then figuring a way of rebuilding something. So it's funny because you when you're in the moments we've been in for the past 8 months, you wish for good times, but then good times you're like, well, it's pretty boring actually. So
well, you're all caught up now. I've had a great time at 10:30. It's been wonderful. That's my catch up. That's all my updates.
You have a great time. You had some goals this year, did you not? What about you? What happened to you?
Made a lot more money.
Okay.
I mean, if they've listened to other episodes, they'll know. But I turned 30, which was wonderful. I was very spoilt. Still getting spoiled. I've
got 30 presents for 30 days.
Presents for 30 days, and I'm still opening presents.
Yeah, and you don't send us videos every day. Are you opening up your presents?
Everyone will get a haul tonight. I've planned it. I've laid them out. You're going to get a haul this evening. Don't worry.
Need some enthusiasm for your presents, please.
But then respond.
Your niece gave more enthusiasm than you.
Yeah, so they've given me 30 presents to open over 30 days, and there's a group chat what I put in there, but I don't get any responses. but you'll get a haul today. You've got quite a few to catch up
You will get
from.
a video response every time you do it now.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Right, shall we get started? It's been 10 minutes.
Yeah, but we spoke a lot about entrepreneurship as well. So
Yes.
I think hopefully.
I think we wanted to come back with a bit of a bang. Obviously, we've been away for a while. There's not been an episode for quite some time. So I would feel safe to say this is probably your favourite topic. I think this is maybe where you would specialize as a coach. You coach in this area. You are a high performance coach. So
Hopefully
today,
a high performance person.
well, I don't know. Quite lazy. I'm joking.
I am. What line are you at? Rich.
So today we're going to cover, I guess, those sorts of basics. I think it's important to go back to, I think, what you're passionate about first.
Extremely.
Yes, exactly. I think a great place to start is what does high performance mean to you, or what does a high performance person look like to you?
Person that operates at an optimal level all the time in all areas of their life. So I think a high performing person is someone who's not, I'm going to be generous and say top 5% of anything. I mean, you can talk about 1%ers, but then people switch off and go, well, that's talent, which I don't think it is to a degree. It is talent, but it's talent that's built and learnt over time, right? So I think a high performance person is someone who operates at the optimal level. The easiest way, if there's any people that are into cars watching this, imagine your car running perfectly and all cylinders firing, and it can drive its best version of itself, right? So it's a very fine-tuned human being who operates at the top of their game.
Okay. And I guess, I mean, you've kind of covered it there. Do you think you can learn to be a high performer then? Do you think it's
100%.
something like innate within you?
Nope. I don't think. I think there's certain things. You become a victim of your environment. So I think your environment has a lot to play with growing up. I think until you're 18, when you're in your parents' house and you're in a schooling system, you can blame your environment. That's fine. But when you become an adult and you make your own choices, you can choose to change who you are. I done a topic on this once for about 1,800 people at a seminar. I won an award. And I had made a lot of personal changes. I went from zero to hero. This is when do you know what? This is probably the turning point where I went to high performing person in business, because I was the opposite. I had been like a good performer who then became a terrible performer. I was out drinking, I was doing all stuff. Well, I look back, I saw the opposite and I tell anybody to do now. And so that for me was a turning point. I won this award called the Comeback CEO Award, because I went for looking like I'm probably not going to be in business to having an incredible business 18 months later. I went for managing one person at 180 people in 10 months. Like, it's really when I found it, funnily enough, when I met my wife, right? So we can either say I became a high performer or I got house trained pretty quickly.
Or the second one.
Brody would say it's her, right?
Yeah.
And do you know what's funny? We joke sometimes about our divorce, and I'm like, I'll happily give you half. Like, you played the big part, and she did, right? But that turning point for becoming a high performer, and they asked me to do a speech. It's funny because I get told I was winning the award 5 minutes before I had to do the speech. I actually remember saying, it was my mentor that came up to me and he's like, just so you know, you're winning an award for your accomplishments and the changes you've made, and we're calling it the Comeback CEO Award. So write something about, the changes you made. And I'm like, thanks for the heads up. He went, this is your heads up, which is why I use that line. That's why I use that line with people now. And they're like, thanks for telling me. I'm like, this is me telling you. Like, you get 5 minutes. But I actually quickly come up with exactly what you're talking about, and I'm like, you got to look at yourself like a sculpture, right? Schooling, parenting, friends, influencers in your life will mold and sculpt you when you don't really know you only know what you see and hear to a certain point. You don't make your own decisions, you're not smart enough, you're not getting enough life experience. So as you're growing up as a kid, you will become a product of that environment. But when you learn right from wrong, good from bad, when you learn all that stuff and you get to make your own, I suppose, adult choices, you can then choose to re-sculpt yourself. And if you think about it, if you took I don't do sculptures, but this was an analogy I gave. If you got a person, a sculpture, and you want to change it, you can't change it quickly. You got to take all these wee tiny chips out it. I got to chip something off and I've got to remold it and refix it again. So all I was talking about is just all these wee small tiny changes that over time compound. And if you do, you never heard the phrase death by 1,000 cuts. do that opposite, no death, but you rebuild yourself with 1,000 wee moves. So it's making the right choice versus easy choice and changing yourself, changing your thought process, changing who you are and reinventing yourself as a person. So I've seen this a million times. I've took people who are low performers, don't have good habits, are terrible at what they do. I call them projects. Mm-hmm. And then developing those people into high-performing people in life and professionally. Suppose for me now, I'm the person that sculpts it, but I also don't just do it so they need me. I teach people how to kind of reinvent themselves and become high performers. I don't like the word, earlier on when I says the word talent, and corrected myself and say talent's learned. I don't believe in natural talent. I don't believe in natural leaders. I don't believe, Lewis Hamilton's not a natural driver. If you go listen to the story of how his dad trained him, you realise that he wasn't naturally good with the brakes or on the corners. You were talking about F1 earlier, right? Have you ever watched Hamilton talk about this?
Yeah, did he not just have to do something where he had to, on the courses, and he had to brake, otherwise he'd go into like a pond or something?
His dad says if you want to be the best F1 driver, you're going to have to brake the ones in the corners, because if everybody else brakes here, if you learn to brake here, you're going to get an edge on everybody else. And so he's telling the story when he's on a talk show, and he's telling the story, and he's like, with the go-kart, and at the turn where my dad would make me stop later, there was a pond at the end of the turn, and he's like, I ended up in that pond a lot. And he's like, what happened? He's like, my dad would take me back up and he'd make me do it again and do it again and do it again and do it again. But then to watch Hamilton take corners and brake late, you're like, my God, he's a born driver, he's a natural driver. No, he's not. Floyd Mayweather's not a natural boxer. That's the only thing ever done his whole life, and used to hitchhike 3 hours to go to the gym. Lionel Messi's been kicking a ball since he was 4. So if you're natural, if something's natural, it means you'll just do it without learning it. The only bloody things we do naturally when we're born is we're greedy and we're lazy. We don't naturally walk. We have to learn to walk. We can't count. We can't read. We can't write. Babies don't even breathe when they come out of the womb. They have to learn how to, if we were talking about this in a week. Remember with Stacey's baby and how babies have to learn how to breathe. So I don't like, and I think when people say someone's got, that's all right, they're just naturally good at it, I think that's just a bullshit excuse people use for not being bothered to go gain the same skill set as that person's already got. I'm a big believer in, if you want to do something bad enough and you're willing to do whatever it takes legally to get it.
Thanks for that disclaimer.
I'm just going to say that, legally, don't be a bad person, don't do illegal things. But if you want something bad enough and you're obsessed with something bad enough, but you're also willing to do whatever it takes, there are very few things in the world that you can't do. Some people would say that's optimistic and I'm overly positive, but I just believe it.
So then what is it then that can make a person a high performer? Is it a willingness? Is it a desire to have more? What are the maybe qualities or mindsets that you would look for? If it's something that everyone can learn, what is the thing that you see in a person that lets you know this person is worth my time and effort because they can become a high performer?
A desire first. Got to want something bad. And if you want something that bad, you're a little bit obsessed and addicted to it.
Yeah.
I use the word addiction a lot. You get addicted to success. I'm sure Hamilton was he was addicted to being the best F1 driver. I'm sure Messi was addicted to being the best football player. So at some point, there's obsession, but then I think the next level is addiction. If you think about addiction, it's I have to. There's a difference between I'd like to do something and I have to do something. I use the word addiction. The average person likes a pint. Someone who's addicted to alcohol needs a pint.
Has to have a pint.
One can do without it. One will do whatever it takes to get it. So I think there has to be a desire. The bigger the desire, the deeper desire, where it becomes into obsession and addiction, I think then that creates the willingness that it needs. But I think to be exceptional at anything, if you study anybody who's ever done anything great that's worth talking about, they had really obsessive, addictive natures. Really, really, really. But the willingness and the things they're willing to go through and put up, like Floyd Mayweather hitchhiking 3 hours in the snow to go to a boxing gym at 12 years old. One, dangerous in America. But a lot of people, again, natural, and if you watch that guy, if you watch him train, even when he was a world champion, he was still training during the night. He would train during the night because it gave him an edge over everybody else, right? It's called a nocturnal training. And it gave him a mental edge because he's like, when my opponent's sleeping, I know I'm training.
I'm getting better.
So confidence-wise. So just when you go behind the scenes, and any journalist that ever went and watched him went, you can't beat a guy who has everything, who still trains like he's got nothing, which is why he stayed at the top of his game for so long. If you look at your Messis and your Ronaldos, they're still as committed as I guarantee you Hamilton still trains the same as he did when he was trying to be world champion. That's how these guys stay great. But they're obsessed. You've got to have the desire for it. You've got to have a big want and a big purpose to be it, because it's difficult. The other part to that is the bigger the reward, the more a cost you're willing to put up with. It's how your brain works. So the cost of success is the same for everybody. But if I've got a much bigger purpose and a much higher desire, it actually belittles the cost, because you're like, well, of course it's worth the pain, because I'm going to be an Olympic champion, I'm going to be a millionaire, I'm going to be the best F1 driver, versus someone who's just like, I'd like to.
That'd be nice.
Then with the pain. So your pain tolerance goes up the more desire and obsessive nature you got, because you're going to need a pain tolerance if you want to be a high performer in anything. Even if you want to be a good parent and have more kids.
Life though, isn't it?
you got, if you want to be a high performing parent, you want to have better kids and produce better kids than anybody else, or more kids than anybody else, you're going to deal with more pain than everybody else.
Yeah.
Physically and mentally.
Do you think then it is possible to be a high performer in one area of life and not in another, or like average in others? So can you be a high performer in work, come in, like turn it on, and then go home and not be? Or do you think that you are a high performer all the time?
People do that, where professionally they're high performers and personally their life's a freaking mess.
Yeah.
I think one eventually affects the other. Again, I'm sure there's examples of this everywhere, where people are great in business but terrible people in personal life, and it works for them. I don't think long term that wins. I think people who perform high in all areas of life have this better sense of energy and better sense of confidence, and you can tell. I look at Ronaldo and go, he's a good, I know it sounds strange, he's a good husband, a good dad. Messi, guarantee everything they do well. Guarantee they don't half-ass a thing in their life. Lewis Hamilton don't. But I see some people in business and I look at it and go, you're successful, you got money, but I can see that you half-ass everything else in life.
Yeah.
They're not healthy, they don't actually look happy, they look unhappy, they've got bags, they look stressed. So I think holistically speaking, if you perform areas of your life and you're more satisfied, you'll have more confidence, you'll have more good energy, which will give you more presence, which for me gives you a lot more longevity.
Yeah, I definitely do think that there is, there has to be a tie though, because I also feel like at some point, if you do have to turn it on and then you turn it off when you kind of get home, that mask will slip eventually, because you are having to turn it on and it isn't just who you are. And I think it is an act, and I think that at some point will become exhausting. Yeah,
they've never really re-sculpted their self on a deep-rooted level. Yeah. They've just learned how to play a game.
Yeah.
So you're right.
So then we talk about high performers obviously kind of chasing a success and wanting to be successful in whatever field that they're in, whether that is business, whether that is being a parent, whether that is in sport, whatever. What do you feel like success means then through a professional lens, sorry?
What do you mean by professional lens?
So in terms of your career, or in terms of whatever you're trying to be a high performer in, what does success mean in that?
What does it look like? It's different for everybody. It depends. Some people aren't, and I know some people that wanted to be successful enough to pay off their mortgage and not have to pay their mortgage again, and that to them is success. There's other people that want to, make a certain amount of money to retire, and that for them is success. And then there's other people who want to leave a legacy.
But do you think those people that then want to just make enough money to pay their mortgage off, do you think they are a high performer? Because is a high performer ever content or happy with what they've got and not want more?
I think they'd be a high performer for a certain period of time, and two things happen when they do it. I just seen this happen to a friend who done this. High performer, animal in business, animal in personal life, sold company, done an exit, thought he wanted to be a high performer to give himself an easy life. And then after he got the easier life, he wants to go back to building a business again, because he is just a high performer. So I think some people will realise that what they thought was going to make them happy isn't. And my other mate always says you can't turn off what you didn't have to turn on. So I think when people hit a goal and think it's going to make them happy, they realise that it wasn't the goal, that they're actually a high-performing person, and they're only going to be happy when they're performing at a high level. I think that's a quick realisation. And then I think the other realisation is people they perform at a high level, but who they are as a person is they're not a high performer. They're not a high performer. They performed at a high level for a certain period of time, but I wouldn't call them a genuine high-performing person. High-performing people can't switch off.
Yeah.
Can't help it. Can't help but be competitive. I'll give you an example. I went to view buildings in Sheffield, and I think you know this story. Do you know the story about what the guy says to me about the distance between the two places?
Yeah.
So
I was going to time you.
Yeah, because we're in the place. And I'm in Sheffield and I go to view this building and spaces, and I'm talking away to the building manager, who was lovely, good lad, really good lad for Doncaster. And I says, I says, it was 17 minutes for me to get here. And they went, that's a bit slow. I'm like, in my defence, I didn't know where I was going. I was following Google Maps.
Wind you right up.
And so he's like 6 foot. So he says, I can walk back down there in 14 minutes. But Sky can't, and he points at Sky, who's like 5'6", and because she's got short legs.
Or your sort of height.
And I'm like, well, I've got short legs too, so I'm with you, Sky. And Sky looked at him and says, I done it in 11. And I went, I hate you too. Game on. Because I'm getting back down the bottom of the town to the train station to view the other building. Yeah. Then the guys went, all right, I'm going to switch my watch on, and I'm going to get Eric, I'm sure his name is Eric, to let me know when you go in the door. I went, don't start it until I go at the front door, though. Yeah. I'm like, don't start it and follow and go. I done it in 14 minutes because I got lost. And I was right. I went in and Eric went, 14 minutes. And I'm like, I got lost in my feet. Can't help it. I went into a pure gym in Manchester this week, as we both know. Usually when I get into gyms, and I know I don't look, for other gym bros that do monkey weights, they'll be like, it doesn't look big. They do a lot of functional fitness, right? They do a lot of handstand press-ups.
It's like dips. Internal health that you focus on.
Someone asked me if I was a gymnast 5 weeks ago. In my defence, because of the kind of workouts that I do, I call them circus tricks, no gymnast tricks, like, military bloody or Arnold presses whilst kneeling on a big Swiss ball and balancing. I could do all these wee fun things. Usually when I get into gyms, I'm the one doing all the weird stuff, and probably functionally, strength-wise and fitness-wise, one of the better people. And I went into that pure gym in Manchester, and you already know this because you've been laughing at me all week for it. And there was guys doing handstand press-ups without the wall. Yeah. There's girls doing better leg raises than me. There was people doing shit that I can't do.
Yeah.
Do you remember what I says to you about that gym?
You're going to be the one doing that soon.
I'm like, I love the gym because it's the first time I've went into a gym and felt really competitive. I felt like I didn't have any muscle. I had no strength. I wasn't fit. I woke up earlier the next day excited. I worked harder in the gym yesterday. I thought I showed off. I took my skip ropes and skipped for 30 minutes. So I could do something I bet none of you can do. I did. And I made sure they all seen it. I made sure they all seen me doing it.
Excuse me, can you all watch me now, please?
Because I caught myself. I'm like, no. If I'm going to be in a room full of people doing something that's measured by results, fucking what he won.
Even last night at the train station, got back at like 8 o'clock at night, and we were giggling away because
we were running down Glasgow Central, racing each other to the end. So yeah, I think actual high performing people, I mean, you can learn to be one, but I think then you get. Let me explain why. Because you asked earlier if we can go from, and this might so that people know it doesn't contradict. Is it natural, or can you make yourself a high performer? Yes, you can. But when you're a high performer and you perform at a high level, you get these wee dopamine kicks of accomplishment. So you get addicted to winning. You get addicted to success. You get addicted to the chase. You get addicted to the struggle because it's all dopamine kicks and, self-confidence getting built and realizations are you're way better than you ever thought you did, right? Yeah. Whereas maybe you look up here to people sometimes and then all of a sudden you're competing with them. You get addicted to that stuff. So because we're dopamine junkies, you start to perform everywhere and you're like, do I want to be the best dad? 100%. Do I want to be the cool dad? 100%. Do I want to be the best husband? 100%. Do I want all the wives going, why are you no more like James? Of course I do. Fucking all the time. My wife's like, everything's not a competition. I'm like, yes, it is. So I think once you become a high performing person and you feel how good it feels to perform high, and it doesn't have to be monetary rewards, when you get the kick about being the best, you start to get addicted to being the best. And therefore, everything in your life, you start to go, let me do this at a better level. Because if I'm going to do something that either has score, financial rewards, comparisons, don't go on a Peloton bike if you don't want to be competitive. You compete with 38,000 people. I think some of them are on steroids because they're so strong. Because I'm like, how do you go that fast? But sorry, I lost my train of thought because I thought about Pelican there. But you start to really want to beat everybody at everything, and it's a bit annoying for everybody else around you. But who gives a shit?
Yeah.
As long as I'm beating you, I don't care.
Yeah, that everyone.
When I drop my kids off at school, I'm looking at all the dads and I'm judging.
Right.
Judging. I want to win.
Yeah.
I want to look better, sound better, be nicer.
I don't think that's a bad thing, though. I think because it's wanting to always better yourself and it's always wanting to be a better version, and I don't think that's a bad thing at all.
Nah. So I highly encourage everybody. I mean, I don't drink alcohol anymore because I get dopamine everywhere else in my life. I don't need to. I get dopamine every day.
One flaw, I would say.
You hate that I don't drink anymore.
It used to be so fun. You're still fun, though, to be fair.
I know, but I'm not as much fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair.
Okay. Fair play.
You are the driver, though.
I can't talk about being a high-performing person whilst getting drunk every Saturday night. It's kind of contradictory.
Yeah, you don't have to get drunk all the time.
No.
But you're the driver and you can still have a good time, so that's good.
I'm that guy.
You are that guy. You drove me and our friend to Edinburgh a few weeks ago. And I think he loved the car ride back with me.
I actually enjoy drunk people. Everybody's like, does it not annoy you? And I'm like, no, it's quite funny, actually. I cringe sometimes. They'll go, oh, that used to be me.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Fair enough.
Next question.
Do you feel... Oh, thank you. Thanks for the prompt. Do
you want to maybe do your job?
Coasting this whole time. Do you feel... This is why you pay me, so you can just tell me what to do. Do you feel like there is there's traps, like mental traps that people have that sabotage their high performance?
Yes. I mean, I don't know if there's a whole other podcast of questions there.
But you've got about 8 minutes.
I know, I checked them a minute ago. So I know how much time. So I'm like, that's a lot. Maybe the next... There is mental traps that stop people back. Look, all right, I'll summarise this in the shortest way I possibly can. There's a meme on Instagram that kicks about and goes, your biggest obstacle in your life, and do you know when it's a carousel and you flick across? For anybody that knows what a carousel is and you flick across.
Surely in 2025.
I know, I was being sarky, right? Surely. Even the fact I know is good, right? The fact I know.
Well,
One finger typer 3 years ago. I'm Mr. Socials these days, but 3-4 years ago it's quite funny.
That's a story.
But it says, and it's got a cartoon, it's just a guy standing and it says the biggest obstacle you're going to have to deal with your life, and it flicks across and it's you in the mirror. And so the mental trap's you. It's your ability to wrap your head around what's going on inside your head and your ability to control your brain. The easiest way I've ever seen this broken down is your brain is like a little general that tells your body what to do, but you have to be the person that controls the general, because if you don't, the general will do whatever it wants to do. So I think being in, I was going to say in touch, that's not the right word, that's not the right way to say this. Learning how to control your thought process, learning how to get rid of the wee voices in your head, and I suppose learning how to banish the demons that try and creep in your head every single day. Your ability to do that will be the biggest determining factor on success or not success, because we all deal with it.
Yeah. I think it's also like you're saying, like you have to confront those things. You have to confront those things that like are your blockers. And I do think it is sometimes hard to self-identify what those things are. And that's where having a coach or having a mentor is really important.
You need that.
Because I think it is sometimes we all have a warped idea of who we are. Up until yesterday, I thought I was a really humble person. I was told I wasn't.
Her coach
apparently.
corrected her. But very nicely corrected her and explained why she was a professionally not humble, personally very humble. She's actually related to Mary Queen of Scots, right, everybody. Okay. See, you hate it, you're humble with it.
Can we cut that bit out?
No, it's not getting edited out. The world's now going to know. 14 people removed from Mary Queen of Scots.
Every podcast that I've ever edited that you mentioned that in, I cut out. But like, I think we all have an idea of who we are in our ourselves and who we think we are.
It's what?
But I think it is important to have an external person that can point out your flaws, but also point out your strengths, because naturally also we don't realize what we are also good at. So I think that's why to be a high performer, you have to have a coach and you have to have someone that mentors you.
You need that. You need that. I'm currently looking at coaching programs that are going to cost $75,000 to $120,000 a year, because for me to reach my next level, I'm like, I'm an idiot to feel like I can level up with it getting coached off someone who's already done it.
Yeah,
I could, but there's also a huge chance of failure for that. So you're right, you do need a coach. You're right in saying that, because people that are high performers sometimes are too overly confident. You're overly confident, you try and do too much yourself, so you need someone there to kind of bring you down, keep you humble. Or just marry a good Scottish wife and she'll keep you in your place every time. Remember I told you, I says to Brodie, I'm really good at this, and she's like, get over yourself. And I humbled very, brought down very quickly. But on the flip side, they're overly critical of themselves as well, and sometimes they need somebody to look and go, you're actually being detrimental to yourself just now because you're being too critical of yourself. And so people do need a coach. A coach is like a sat nav. Who goes in the car to a destination I've never been to these days and not put Google Maps on? To do that stupid.
I don't think I could do the basics. Like, I'm so reliant on Google Maps. I don't think I could do the basics of where to get anywhere.
No one has a sense of direction anymore because they do. But imagine somebody calling you these days, but this is people without a coach try to get somewhere. And I'm not trying to punt that I should coach you, by the way, but I just think this is what I teach people about why having a coach is important, whether it's me coaching them or someone else coaching them. Imagine someone says to you, I'm going to come and see you, and you say, you don't know where you're going, I'll send the address. You send them the address, they turn up 5 hours late, and you say, why are you late? They say, I get lost. You say, did you not use maps? And they go, no, I just try to figure out how to get me here myself. How would you feel about that person? What would be your thoughts on that person? What would you say to that person? You would call them some form of idiot or stupid or thick, because why would you not just put it in the sat nav who can tell you exactly how to get to your destination? But a lot of people get into entrepreneurship like that. A lot of people try and be the best in their game with that. The problem with these people is they're stubborn and usually independent in the beginning. So they believe that they can figure out how to do it themselves. To me, it's really silly to try and figure out something someone's already done yourself. It's like, even if I want to find something in the house, I'll always ask my wife first before I look. And she's like, why would you not go look? I'm like, why would I waste 2 minutes if you know exactly where I go? That to me is a waste of time. It's not laziness. For me, it's like, it's logical. Why would I not find the easiest way of getting something done and save myself some pain?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But a lot of people would just go look for it just to say, oh, I've done it myself. But no, it's an ego thing.
No, I think no matter the level, no matter where you're at, I think it is important to have that guidance. And lucky for everybody, there is a high performance coach right here. So if you are
expensive
interested,
though, I'm going to be really honest. Like, if you're not willing to spend money, I don't even care about the money. Like, if I only work with people who I don't have to tell twice. If pay me money and then ask me, give me the but syndrome. Tell you this, there's no but. There's just, you need to be. I think when you find a coach, you need to be super coachable as well. I think so. There's two sides to this. You need to find the right coach.
Don't just have one just to have one. I think you've got to be open to it.
You have to trust whatever that coach is telling you is for your own good, and just shut up and do it. Don't not ask why they told you to do it, so you have an understanding of why something's good for you. But I hate the but, which is like, I want a 6-pack. You should go to the gym. Yeah, I'd like to, but no, there is no but.
Yeah.
So I told someone the other day they had to work like 12 hours a day, and they're like, oh yeah, but, and I'm like, well, you can't say you want to make $3,000 a week if you're not willing to work 12 hours a day. It just doesn't match.
Math
so either change the goal or change the action, right? I hate the but. Yeah, but I really like what you're saying, but no, there is no but.
Well, if you would like a coach and don't want to use that phrase, James is available. You can reach him on Instagram, but I think that is a perfect place to end it today.
I'm just going to say, don't waste your time or mine, because most people that are watching aren't willing to do what it takes.
Yeah. Okay. Really put everyone off now. Okay, no one use him as a coach. No one come to James. But thank you so much. I am very happy to be back. Are you?
I'm excited. I could sit here all day, do this.
Oh, we know.
I woke up giddy. I don't wake up giddy very often. You know what giddy means, right?
Yeah.
I'm just checking.
8 years with you?
Yeah, it's only because of me, you know the word. I woke up excited this morning. I like doing these. I don't like doing them because I like being the centre of attention, although it might seem like that. The whole idea we've done this was just to try and add some value.
Yeah.
Just, maybe help some young James Watson at 23 try to figure out whether they've got what it takes to do something with their life.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Happy to be back. Where can everyone find you online?
Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, obviously.
Yeah.
All the _James Watson. If you're going to go on Instagram, if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe, jump into Instagram, follow. If you feel like you're on TikTok, follow on there as well.
Yeah. And we will see you all next time. Thank you so much.
Great. Thanks for listening to our nonsense.
So wise.